Hi guys, welcome to this updates video. I trust and hope you're doing really fantastic today. It is Sunday, the start of a brand new week, the final Sunday in the month of March, and midweek we will be welcoming the month of April. And with that as well, we are just over 2 months, 64 days out from the official start of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season. And of course, June 1st is the start. And June 1st doesn't automatically mean, okay, we've got a hurricane or a storm to talk about. Normally, things are quiet at first, and then as time progresses, as we head deeper into the season, is when we really want to keep our eyes peeled for activity. But that's why my channel is here to ensure that you're updated with the latest, even now in the off season. So we'll be looking at the short-term forecast, and I also want to be talking about some different things that will pretty much influence the hurricane season. One of the main factors is called the El Nino Southern Oscillation, and you may have seen the talks about El Nino expected this year, Super El Nino. What does this mean? Well, there has been some confusion. I'm also seeing some misinformation, especially on social media. I'll be talking about the facts with you guys today in the simplest way that I can, because some of these weather systems, when explaining them, they can be complex, but I'll try to simplify best as I can. But we're first starting off with the current forecast. So things are getting a little bit active this afternoon in parts of Jamaica. It's also been quite windy today for some of us. And even as we head to southern Hispaniola, we're seeing these little white dots popping up indicating lightning strikes. So we kind of have an idea of where the thunderstorms are going on this afternoon. Elsewhere, it's a bit overcast, especially towards Central America, maybe with some showers as well. We're seeing lots of clouds here. And then we also see quite a bit of action towards South America. Not surprising to see at all, as the area has a lot of atmospheric instability, which is what helps to increase all of that action. So as we head into especially the afternoon hours each day, we tend to find a surge in showers and thunderstorms because the sun's heating helps out with allowing all of that action to kick up. Now, for the rainfall forecast, let's talk about it. So between now and tomorrow evening, so this is what is expected. We could see additional periods of showers and thunderstorms for parts of Florida going to the northern Bahamas. Even as we head further south towards the Turks and Caicos Islands here, things could get a little bit active, not very, but a few showers could be possible. Not a high chance of rain for Cuba and sections of Hispaniola, but a couple showers could linger by. Jamaica is going to be a similar story, as there could be additional showers and thunderstorms. We've been getting that. A lot of rain fell in some areas last night into this morning. Cayman Islands, it could be a little bit active as well. Some showers are possible. And then towards Central America, I'll show you guys that there's quite a bit of cloud cover there, so additional rain is definitely possible. As we head towards the ABC Islands down here, it's not going to be as active, very limited chance of rain. A few showers could move by Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and parts of the Lesser Antilles, but further south, especially towards the Windward Islands, Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, it's going to be a little bit drier and quieter, much not expected at all. And then, as I mentioned as well, lots of moisture, lots of atmospheric instability in parts of northern South America. So we can definitely expect to see a similar type of activity as we head into tomorrow. Now, let's talk hurricane season. The first thing is this graphic here. So this is showing the sea surface temperatures. This is the latest update from Tropical Tidbits. And in the Caribbean, this is not surprising to see. It's generally warm all year round, so our temperatures are averaging around 27 degrees Celsius across the basin. The Gulf is slowly warming up. As we're heading deeper into spring and coming out of winter, things are very cool. So slowly getting that warm up, which is what eventually happens as we head towards summer. And as we head deeper, especially into the hurricane season, temperatures get a lot higher, especially around the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, the Gulf itself, and in the Caribbean. There are typically some areas that are very, very warm. Eastern Pacific, quite warm. In some spots, we see 30, maybe up to 31 degrees Celsius with these very vibrant shadings of these reds going to the pinkish color. And for that reason, the Eastern Pacific hurricane season is typically more active compared to the Atlantic. Now, one thing in particular that will likely result in more action over the Pacific and less in the Atlantic is something known as the El Nino Southern Oscillation. So, El Nino, as I mentioned, that is something that we have been hearing a lot about it, and what it's typically referring to the variation in terms of temperatures across the equatorial Pacific. Now, when the temperatures over there are warmer than normal, that typically results in, as I mentioned, a more active Pacific hurricane season. But that actually results in more unfavorable upper level winds. So the upper level winds, they typically help to disrupt the formation of thunderstorms, and that impacts our hurricane season because remember, hurricanes don't just start out as massive violent storms. Most start out as tropical waves. So just a cluster of all these showers and thunderstorms, but if that is being significantly affected, it won't materialize. So this is how it helps to pretty much keep things calm in the Atlantic. And not just that, one of our main pressure systems which helps to steer tropical cyclones towards the west, it is called the Bermuda Azores High, and that when there is an El Nino present, especially a strong El Nino, it is displaced further to the east, which allows more systems to curve. And this right here is a graphic of the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season where an El Nino was present. And notice that most of the tropical cyclones, especially those coming from Africa, they stayed out. They didn't move into the Caribbean. Just a few systems actually made it in or formed just within the vicinity of the region. But the vast majority of them, even the strongest of the season, which was Hurricane Lee, a Cat 5, it stayed offshore, didn't bring any direct impacts to land as a Category 5 hurricane. But I want you to notice something as well. Even though this was an El Nino season, there were quite a few storms. Matter of fact, the 2023 hurricane season is right now one of the most active seasons. It's literally in the top 5 for the most active Atlantic hurricane season because, yes, an El Nino was present, which helped to keep things a bit calm and resulted in most systems being offshore, which was a good thing. But 2023 was a very, very hot year. Let's look at this graphic here. So this is showing the sea surface temperatures across the North Atlantic. And I want to go to 2023. This line up here, so we're seeing, because this is a graph, so as we head up on the y-axis, that's showing the temperature. So the higher these go, the higher the temperature, and as we head out on the x-axis, that is the time. So this line right here is for 2023. Notice that it's above the rest. So 2023 was a very warm year, especially July, and even going into August as well in September. Very, very warm. Now, here's where we currently are in 2026. We are entering the month of April shortly, and we're kind of within like the upper ranges of like the warmer temperatures. So generally, global temperatures are above normal, and that is something that basically countered some of the effects of El Nino in that more storms developed in 2023 when we go back to the graphic here. We had a lot of storms because an average hurricane season right now produces 14 named storms. The season produced 20. But the good thing is, the majority of them, as I mentioned, stayed offshore. So even though, yes, this upcoming hurricane season is expected to be an El Nino season, we can anticipate to potentially see below average storms. But one of the things that I always mention as well is that it only takes one. Last year in 2025, Hurricane Melissa was that one. Because if it wasn't for Melissa, a lot of people would have thought that, hey, it was a very quiet season, and it kind of was. It was an average hurricane season in terms of the amount of named storms that we had. But because of the formation of Melissa, many people think that, last year was a very active year. But in truth, it wasn't overly active. Now, the next thing is, could we possibly see preseason development? It has happened a lot. And this right here is showing the number of recorded off-season storms. So the off-season months are December, January through May, because the hurricane season is June to November. So we are headed into April, and there have only been 7 recorded storms in the month of April, and the month that accounts for the highest number of off-season storms is May. So there is definitely that possibility if the conditions in the environment will be conducive enough for that to happen, and especially with the frontal system still leaving out the U.S. What we see happen a lot, especially at the start of the hurricane season, is that the tail end of those frontal systems, they become cut off. We can get an airflow pressure form, and if the conditions are right, then it may try to materialize and become a hybrid system, a subtropical storm. We see that happen quite often. So that's definitely going to be possible, but no guarantees. We're taking that with a grain of salt for right now. And yesterday I started talking about the April forecast. So going back to that, in terms of precipitation across the Caribbean and surrounding areas. So this graphic here is from the climate forecast system. We see that it is valid for April 2026. And the green and the blue shadings represent above average precipitation. The white areas pretty much expected to be average, and then the yellows indicate below average precipitation. So as we're going to be headed into the new month, the climate forecast system is actually expecting that for much of the Caribbean, there could be above average rain in the month of April. And as we're going to be headed into May, we see that much of the Caribbean still may possibly get average to above average rainfall, below average possible, maybe in parts of the Lesser Antilles. And then June, kickstarting the hurricane season, we could see decreased precipitation. But this is only one model. What is the next one? The CANSIPS showing. This one for the month of April is also anticipating that we could see above average rain in sections of the Caribbean, maybe average for other places, for example, Jamaica, parts of Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. And then we could possibly see below average rain towards the Northwest Caribbean and the Bahamas. So we really gotta wait and see what eventually happens. But we definitely need that rainfall activity, especially to prevent droughts, because droughts become a problem in the drier years because we all need water on a daily basis. So eventually we'll also be getting those tropical waves. I talked about that last week, I believe. Time is going by so quickly, I'm not even sure if it was last week or the previous video. But we'll start getting tropical waves very soon. They can start as soon as late April or even May. And when they do, they help to increase rainfall activity in the Caribbean because they're low-pressure weather systems, and low-pressure systems tend to help to increase atmospheric instability, which can lead to the formation of showers and thunderstorms. So guys, that's pretty much what I wanted to bring to your attention today. Again, for the short term, there could be additional periods of showers and thunderstorms in parts of the Caribbean. And April, we are likely to see an increase in rain in sections of the Caribbean. And for the upcoming hurricane season, it could be an El Nino season, which would generally mean below average activity. However, that is not guaranteed, and it only takes one tropical cyclone to be the talk of the town. So I do hope you found this video to be informative, but if you have any questions, as always, you can feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll get to you when I can, and remember to always be weatherwise.